welcome to the webinar. Um, Today's topic is how modern surface finishing software boosts production management in your plant, maximizing efficiency and quality. We are going to talk about two aspects of surface finishing today. One is how the software has changed the life of surface finishing industry. Um, we'll talk about a software called Proplate and how it has grabbed the industry with both hands and introduced a lot of quality and efficiency in day-to-day operation. With that, we are also going to get some insight from Mr. Ken Pocket, who is an industry expert over 35 plus years of surface finishing experience, whether it's a rack plating, barrel plating. He has done it all. He has been a plant manager, so he is very familiar with the overall operation of the plant, not just the plating itself. And he will share some of his experience working with the ProPlate over the last few years and what kind of rewards he has seen and what the software has brought to the industry and for industry. And from there, we'll move on to look at some of the features, highlighted feature of ProPlate, and then we'll do question answers. And anybody is interested in getting details of this software or learn a little bit more, we can set up one-on-one. But without further ado, I will invite Mr. Ken to share some feedback uh, of his industry experience with ProPlate and how it has shaped what day-to-day operation is. Ken?
Okay. Hello, everybody. Again, my background, I've been in the metal finishing industry for over 35 years, basically managing plant operations, basically being introduced to ProPlate. Some of the things that someone is, the big concerns as far as the plant activities would always be one, how do you determine how to properly load a barrel? So that was pretty much the basics of of starting ProPlate. So basically, it gives you the ability to calculate surface area and generate a line profile that allows you to maximize your productivity. Again, looking at productivity, when somebody looks at how do I make a quality part, I mean, we always look at it in three ways. One, uh, giving the operators a load size that gives him the best opportunity to achieve his quality goals. Two, the lab technicians having the chemistries in their tanks, being able to produce a quality part. And three, that line operator running his line efficient so you don't get into conditions of overplating or underplating. Um, so saying that, if those three are looked at, then chances are you're going to produce a quality part, especially on the first time run. Maybe some modifications depending on where you're checking thickness, but it'll give you a first time run. So even taking that even to the quoting level, um, you have a better chance of winning a job because now you know what you're going to run it at. You're not guessing off of a matrix type pricing or just pretty much an average guess. So as far as ProPlate goes, that's where we've really seen some good benefits as far as increasing productivity, increasing profit margins, reducing rejects, uh, all in those areas. Um, the next thing about ProPlate is it gives you, with all the aspects and all the, from operators, functions to lab technicians, analysis to order entry, customer service, shipping and receiving, quoting, with it all being integrated into one ERP system. It really gives you the ability to look at historical data type trending. So it's much easier to determine a root cause of a problem. Um, so saying that, that's probably a really good benefit. Most shops that I've been into that are utilizing Proplate, they all have very good operators. They all are quality conscious, but where they where the management side of things tend to slip is they trust in those operators. And when I say that, I don't mean that they should not trust their operators or they should not do it. And the operators are attempting to do a good job. But say you have an operator who runs a quality part, and he may be loading at a certain load rate, but what he doesn't understand is he could have run it with more of a load rate, with more of an average setting and increased productivity. So really the shops that I've been involved with in using Proplate, it sounds ridiculous, but in cases it's not unrealistic to see people increase productivity over 50%. I know that's a crazy number, but that's what you run into. And it's simply because operators are used to running something and they're running it and they've took a first time guess, but they don't realize the impact that how to truly maximize it.
Okay, great. Thank you, Ken. So along the same line, with Ken mentioned, there are also a lot of features the ProPlate has regarding scheduling and management of the job and efficiently routing the job to the right production line. I think all of that combination has brought a lot of efficiency to the plating industry. So we will move on to sharing some snippet from the ProPlate software itself, and I'll allow Mr. Kyle to um, share those with you.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. If Mr. Alpesh would make me a presenter, I'll go ahead and get started here in just a moment. So in ProPlate, we have a digital trail for all of the commonly previously paper documents. Oh, someone's. So we digitize all the documents from your invoices to certificates to job travelers, quotations, everything is digitized. So it reduces paperwork significantly. It also reduces the need for physically carrying paperwork and storing paperwork. If you've ever had to store anything paper, you know that that space quickly gets taken up and can be very resource heavy. Another thing that we will present is we have a way of getting that paperwork, your physical paperwork, digitized very easily. So we have a batch upload or OCR scanner within ProPlate that will actually help you scan your physical documents and turn them into a PDF for you and automatically attach that to the jobs. So again, reducing the need to store paperwork, reducing the need for those physical copies. Those get stored. Those get stored throughout ProPlate. So it looks like we are able to present now. So let's hop right in, and I will show you guys exactly what I was talking about. All right. So if everyone can see the screen here. First thing I will show you here is the place where we store all of those documents for you. So if you notice by clicking that little soft die there, there's gives you the sidebar that provides a whole lot of insight for the job. And then right here on the action button, you can see every single document for this job, which is a completed job. Will be stored here. So you can access those from here. You can print those if you need to, or if you just want to open them and view those, you can. There's also a built-in emailing system, if you want to manually go ahead and email somebody one of those documents. So all of that, all of those here from the job traveler all the way to the invoice, they're stored here for easy access. And then right on this dashboard as well, like I was just mentioning, there is the batch upload feature. So by clicking on this, it will bring you to this window where you can actually use the scanner from Proplate. So the way it works is we use our QR codes. Each document contains a QR code as dividers for the document. So by recognizing our own QR codes, Proplate can automatically assign the different pages in the file to jobs. So go ahead and show you what that looks like. Here, so we'll go ahead and upload this file. So the scanning is very fast. So it'll scan through the document, it will detect each of the QR codes, and then it will disperse those pages to the different jobs. So it will upload those files, and there you can see here are 5 different jobs that it detected within the document. So got 5 different jobs here. It will automatically name the file for you. If you want to rename the file, you can. You can also preview each of the files if you want to see exactly what it uploaded here. So by clicking that little eye, it will open this page. So you can see we start here with our QR code. And this could be your different paperwork for the job stored. So now you no longer have to worry about reprinting the physical copies or having it damaged in some way or lost. When it comes in, you organize it using the Proplate document, run it through your scanner, create the file, upload this file here, and it's and once you're done with that, you upload it and it will automatically attach that to the job. So these are some efficiency hacks just to kind of increase your production, increase your productivity, help you eliminate some of that paper usage as well. Next up, I wanted to talk a little bit about the rules engine. So we also have a tool or a very useful facility called the rules engine. So what that does is it will allow you to route different processes and jobs to specific machinery or work centers within your plant based on rules that you set up. So I'll give you a little preview of what that might look like. So if we go down to our utilities here, within the rule engine, you have 3 different aspects of it. I'll mainly talk about the process routing for right now, but you can create the rule, give it a name, a little description of what it's going to do. And let's say you want to create a rule that says, all of my specific kind of plating is going to run on this line. Maybe you only have 2 lines, right? You have a zinc line, you have a zinc nickel line. So you could create a rule that says, all right, all of my zinc chloride plating needs to get routed to my only zinc line that I have, right? Zinc 1. You create that rule, the system, what it will do is automatically, whenever an order comes in, if it detects that that process is on the job, when it gets released from order entry, it will place the routing on that machine. Now, it doesn't mean that it schedules it. You still get to choose when that actually happens, but it's a nice way of making your scheduling more efficient. So you already know which line it's supposed to go on. You just have to figure out the date. So as an example of that, I'll show you that in action there. So we got a couple of jobs here. So if I go to my order entry, I can look at this job and see what it has. So looks like we've scheduled, we've got plating here. We'll go ahead and create that process and release the part. The job traveler will print out as well as the bin tag. And now it is in scheduling. So we can go to that job in scheduling and take a look at what got assigned. So the rule engine, it assigned the zinc nickel line, and then also there was another rule that we had set up that added a baking process via another aspect of our rules engine, which is our dependent rules. So with those, to put it briefly, you can also set up a rule that says if a job has this process, then automatically add another, maybe it's another required process to the routing for that job. So again, it's a very nice, easy way of making your scheduling, making that more efficient. This is a very key part of what Ken mentioned earlier in reducing the amount of time that it took for somebody to build out a whole schedule on their own. So we went from 10-hour days of many hours trying to figure out how to schedule to now all really that you have to do is set that up, and it's a one-time setup for the rule, and once you make it active, any job that matches that rule set, those parameters will be applied. So speaking of scheduling as well, one thing that also makes it much easier and more efficient is the bulk scheduling option. So in the scheduling module, we go to the ready to schedule orders. Let's say we just wanted to bulk schedule all of our heat treatment processes. So we can go filter that down to the specific process, so say neutral hardening. If you want to select individual jobs, you can. If you want to select just multiple or everything that's in view, you can just click that checkbox and then click the bulk schedule option. So with this, you can at one point schedule multiple jobs to a specific line. So it's very easy to get those jobs on the schedule. So they will pop in as ready to schedule with the rules engine, and then you can bulk schedule them, which is assigning the actual date where the process should take place. And there you go. You can schedule 20 jobs or even up to 100 jobs just like that. So let's talk now about some of the quality control features that we have. So we talked a little bit about scheduling, but you don't usually get to the scheduling without making sure that the part has been properly planned and that you can actually process it. So the first thing we'll talk about is our APQP function. So when the part comes in, you have the opportunity to create an APQP or advanced product quality planning for a part. So we have two samples here. The way that our module works is if the part is determined as needing an APQP, before that part can be ran in order or released from order entry, it will have to go through the approval process found here. So with that, you can create an APQP for a part. We have some already here, so I'll just go ahead and review this one. So you create this for the part. You can assign different users or workers in your plant who you want to actually review that. So for this case, I'm going to reassign myself here. And if I wanted multiple people to take a look at it, let's say you needed somebody from billing to take care of it, you needed somebody from the heat treatment department to take a look at the plan and make sure it's good, you can assign multiple different people to take a look at that part and review it. Additionally, if you set these to required, that means that each person where it is required is going to have to sign off on this before that part gets approved. So once we create that APQP, it goes on a pending review status. And at that point, I can review it, I can sign off, I can add any attachments that I need to, and I can either approve or reject that part. And only at that point, once the APQP has been finalized and approved, will that part be allowed to be released from order entry. Additionally, with the APQP workflow, the system will also detect if there is an unapproved change to the part plan. So let's say we have a part here where the APQP is approved, and somebody goes in and adds a process in the part services that has not been done yet, has never been ran in the part's history, the system will automatically reinitiate the APQP for the part and put that job on hold, so that it can be reviewed and made sure that that everything runs okay. Let me show you what that looks like. So we'll go back to order entry. And we'll take a look at some workflow there. So this is not an APQP part, but this is part of our quality control workflow. So let's say I'm in the order entry and I want to add a service and remove something else. So let's say that I'm going to add a plating process. We'll just say a dip spin process. I can assign my spec here, and I'm adding something that might not even make any sense. So this could really mess up the part plan, and I'm going to remove the already entered process. So what the system will do is it will say, hey, wait a second, you're changing something in order entry, you're changing a spec, you're removing a service, and you're adding a service. There's something wrong here. So in order to even update this, I have to sign off with my comment, whatever reason this might be, and then hit the continue button and save it. So there, once I do that, it gives me an updated process flow for that part, and I can save it or I can print the revisions and then save it. But this does not release the part from order entry. Because I have done this, it will require a manual release. So it doesn't automatically go to scheduling once I do that. And furthermore, if we look in the job number, so anywhere you see this job number in Proplate, you can click on that and it will give you this sidebar with even more information. This is a trace history of that part or of this job in your system. So from when it came in to whatever current step it is at, you will see that. And if you notice down here, we have a service revision history. So by clicking on that, I can now see, okay, this happened to this part, and here's the reason why. So it has my name, it has the date, it has where this took place, it has everything that was removed or added and what it was changed to. And this can also be printed if you need to, but it is always available in this job tracking sidebar. Let's do one more quality control feature. So a lot of companies also have a sampling plan wherein you are required to have a minimum amount of readings. Maybe it's thickness readings, maybe it's core hardness readings, whatever your sampling plan might be, you might have a minimum required on the job. What Proplate does is it allows you to set that minimum for your operators, where once they are processing a job, if the system detects that they did not enter the minimum required readings, it will alert them, and it will also validate it and say, you cannot pass this job until you have the minimum required amount. So there's a good way of guaranteeing that your operators follow the sampling plan. So I'll show you an example of what that looks like. Go back to the dashboard and we'll grab a job. So this job is in processing right now. So if we go and look at this job, we can see, all right, we've got one barrel. So we're going to unload this barrel, and let's just try to do maybe one reading here. So I try to enter only one reading, and there's the validation that it gives me that says, hey, you have to enter these 4 readings in order to continue. So this is for your plating function. And these boxes also dynamically increase or decrease. So if you set this to 4, it's only going to display the 4 necessary. No need to see a whole bunch of information if you're not going to use it. So this will adjust with your settings up there. And furthermore, if some customers have different sampling plans or you want a specific sampling plan for a part, the inspection setting functionality is also at the customer level and the part level. So there is a hierarchy to it, and you can set that in multiple places depending on what your company needs. All right. So we've talked about some efficiency hacks. We've talked about a little bit of quality control features. So last point that we can get to, let's talk about some data decisions, some information to avoid just so many different sticky notes and things on your computers. So let's go back to the ProTrack dashboard. You notice I've been going a lot to this page. It's because it's the main hub for what is happening in your plant. So you can see on here, we have the table where you can see the customer name, customer PO, pretty standard stuff, but we also have the status bar, which indicates just a very high level view of where the job is at. So if you see green, it means the process has been completed. So these letters, they stand for the different processes. So receiving, scheduling, processing, QA, and delivery or shipping. So you see the green, it means it's been complete. If you see the little traffic light color here or the rainbow, you see it means that it is partially in process. So this is started processing, but is not completed yet. And if you see a gray, it means that it is not available for that process yet. And then the yellow means it is available. But those aren't the only symbols that are here on the dashboard. If you notice the little sticky notes over here as well, this is another great way of saving you some paper, because if you click on this little comment box here, there is a built-in note function like what Ken was mentioning earlier, where you can add what we call a sticky note to the job. So let's say you needed to inform somebody that customer A called and requested this specific service be added to the invoice. Well, you can write that note right here instead of putting it on as a sticky note or a physical sticky note on your computer. And you can save it to that job. But the other cool thing about this is you don't have to just manually put this in and rely on somebody to see that the color is changed and then go click on that. You can actually assign it to pop up at a specific step in the process. So again, with our billing example, if you wanted to make sure that your billing department saw and read this note, whatever it might be, you just click on that checkbox right there. And what the system will do is it will pop this note at billing right before they go to invoice that job. And what that does is it requires an acknowledgement from the user that they have read the note before they can continue on. And this is available at every step in the jobs process. So whether you need to send a note specifically to your QA, to your scheduler, to the shipping department, whatever is available for this job's life cycle, you can send the note there and you can make it a mandatory acknowledgement. And when it gets acknowledged, you will see who last acknowledged it. So no more, oh, I didn't see the note or I didn't get the email. You can ensure through this that somebody is reading it. Now, whether they actually listen to what the note says, that is up to your operators, but the system will have the traceability. All right. So back to the dashboard as well. You'll see some various different symbols on here indicating different specialized jobs. So if you see ASN, this means it's an advanced shipment notification job. If you see these blue arrows, this is indicating a customer rework. And there are also some additional symbols for things like internal rework jobs or merged jobs. So you can see this one was possibly clone or split and then merged later on. Here's your internal rework. If you see the little clock symbol, this will let you know if you've exceeded your max turnaround time for the job or whether you've exceeded the commitment date. So there's a number of different symbols that will just give you quick indicators of what kind of job you're dealing with. So there's a split job as well. And if you want a little bit of a deeper view into what's going on in your plant, you can go to the widget dashboard. And this you can manage from here. You can add a number of different little tools here or widgets to tell you what's going on. So here's one for quotations where you can see how many quotes are going out. If you want to do a sales record comparison, or maybe you want to see how many barrels you're processing. In our case, it seems Proplate is a little bit running under there with all the zeros, but for you guys, we know those numbers are going to be great. You can also see your plan due, check action charts, open order reports, more sales reports. So however you want to arrange this, you can also do that. I'll show you. It's pretty cool. If there's information on there that isn't part of a user permission, not to worry. If they don't have billing information or billing permissions, they're not going to even be able to see the quotation widget. So you can assign these or remove these from your dashboard as you see fit. If you want to reorganize it and put certain ones at the top, you can also do that. So you can organize this as much as you want for whatever permission or information you have or want to see. So it's a very good way of setting yourself up to get that overview of what's going on in your plant at a glance. We'll go back to processing for just a moment. This is a little bit of a smaller feature here, but you'll also see things like barrels in use in the processing screen. It will also tell you if you have the load calculations done, it will tell you things like how many barrels are upcoming in the plant or how efficient you are being. So all of the information is in there at a glance for you to see. So things that the operators might want to know. If we open one of these here, you can see there's the total upcoming barrels estimated there. You can also see things like the recipe information and other things like the job traveler. So all of that information is there at a glance. If you've done the load calculations, it will also tell you how many barrels are estimated to load just by the information entered. So a lot of good things to work with there on this screen. And last but certainly not least, there are a number of different reports that are built into Proplate that you can access. So whether you want to see financial related reports or production reports or even quality reports, all of these are available to you right out of the gate. So probably one of the most used reports that we have in the system right now is this open orders report. So this tells you things like how much work and of what kind is in your shop. So if you want to filter this by specific customer or even by specific parts, or whether you want to sort it by the commitment date, you can filter down this report and it will tell you, again, at a glance, where exactly the jobs on the report are. So whether the process has been completed, if it's currently in the middle of running, or whether or not it's even been scheduled, you can see all of that. It will give you the process details and any other information that you might want. So it comes as a standard report by default, which is a little bit more concise. But if you want to see more things, you can uncheck that and you can actually see additional columns in the report for you. I'll show you one more report just before just before I turn it back over to Alkesh. But another new report that we recently released is the process line production report. So if you want to see how many barrels or how many barrels are being run in your plant, you can look at that. This will be a pretty hefty report, but if you want to see that information, you can run this report. It looks like we're not really running any barrels on this one, but for you guys, it will show you things like process date, job numbers, customer names, what the load rate was, when it was loaded and unloaded, and just number of different information there. And you can run this report for a month. You can run it up to a year. So if you really need to get that much data, you can do that. So you can see here, there's a little bit of information. You got the barrel number. It will also tell you if the supervisor reran the barrel through the line. So a lot of times that's some information that goes unchecked, but Proplate actually does record if you rerun a barrel through the line. So good information there for you to use as you see fit. All right, so that being said, I will turn it back over to Alkesh to go ahead and conclude this meeting. Thank you, guys.
Excellent, Kyle. Thank you very much. Folks, you can see how Proplate is defining the new ways of running the shop, adding tremendous amount of efficiency to the plant operation and the easiness of using the system itself. So I don't want to take up too much of your time today. Seems like we don't have any questions right now, but feel free to reach out to us at sales@proplate.pro. Whether you have further questions or you would like to get a one-on-one demo